Black farmers across the nation face further challenges as some say they are dealing with collection notices instead of the promised debt relief offered by the federal government. In January of 2021, the U.S. Department of Agriculture said there would be a temporary suspension of past due debt collection and foreclosures for distressed direct loan borrowers due to the economic hardship imposed by the pandemic. However, Black farmers say they are still receiving notices for foreclosure. Earlier this month, USDA released a 2-minute video addressing the notices.
And I wanted to take a little time to talk to you about your direct FSA loans. In the last few weeks, you may have received some fairly ominous-looking notices from us that have created some confusion in light of the fact that we're under a suspension on adverse actions. I want first to stress that there is still a suspension on adverse actions, and the FSA doesn't intend to take any action that's indicated in the notices you may have received, and then explain why you're receiving those notices anyway. In the farm financial crisis of the 1980s, the FSA, then the Farmers Home Administration, fell way short of adequately servicing the loans of our direct loan borrowers. Oftentimes, borrowers were foreclosed on without even being made aware of the loan servicing options that were available to them that frankly could have kept them on the farm. As a result of this, the network of farm advocates was spawned. And those farm advocates did a great job of raising awareness, so much so that in the Ag Credit Act of 1987, Congress very clearly delineated the processes that we must undertake to notify borrowers of primary loan servicing options. That's why you received those notices today. I want to stress that this is only to make sure that you're aware of your loan servicing options. I further want to stress that you don't need to have missed a payment in order to exercise those primary loan servicing options. I highly encourage you to reach out to your local Farm Service Agency loan staff and explore those options and see what we can do to help you ensure that you've got a bright future in producing the food and fiber that this country.
The Center for Public Integrity reports in 2021, farmers repaid about $538,000 to the USDA from February to November, despite the suspension. Joining me now is the president of the National Black Farmers Association, John Boyd. Wonderful to see you, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I can only imagine the heart drop that farmers are feeling, especially Black farmers are feeling, especially given our history of having our lands being snatched out from under us. What are you dealing with in terms of being able to get accurate information to the Black farmers that your organization organizes?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I can't help but to jump right in on that video. Black farmers don't need, new loan servicing or call for some sort of new option. We got the best deal we're going to get, 120% debt relief. And we've been blocked in 12 different lawsuits by white farmers who stopped the $4 billion of debt relief that I personally, myself and others worked on for over three decades to get debt relief. We didn't get it in both of the settlements, the Black Farmers Settlement, which I worked on for a very, very long time. And then after 2016, it was in the Farm Bill, it was taken out. And then it finally passed last March by the help of Senator Cory Booker and Senator Ralph Warnock from Georgia, put $5 billion for farmers of color. Farmers of color include Black farmers, Native American farmers, Hispanic farmers, Asian farmers. We finally got this little bit of justice because of all of the centuries of discrimination and wrongdoing. And then white farmers had the audacity to sue us and call it reverse discrimination. And we were some sort of way harming their farming operations by Black farmers receiving debt relief. Shame on white America and shame on white farmers for not understanding this horrific history and didn't take it into consideration. The whole 30 years I was trying to get debt relief for Black farmers, white farmers never called up, never once reached out to me and said it was problematic or reverse discrimination. It was only problematic when it became reality and when it was passed and signed into law. Last July, President Biden said he would sit down with me to talk about next steps to come up with some sort of resolve from the administration. It's Black History Month, and I'm here to remind the president that meeting still hasn't happened.
Wow. So if you can then explain to us, so it sounds like you're in a little bit of legal limbo, right? That you have this law that is saying that you should have, and your farmers and black farmers should have debt relief. But
Yes.
at the same time, they're getting, not only these collection notices from the Department of Agriculture, you also have the president who is saying that he's going to do something about it, but he's yet to have that sit down with you to figure out some way that they can mitigate the damage that this lawsuit is putting against you with regards to the white farmers' actions. Does it
Yeah.
feel like you're in a little bit of a sort of conundrum here? I mean,
Well,
what are black farmers to do at this point?
I think what the administration came out with to some sort of equity commission that they think is going to be helpful. We don't need another commission to talk about the stagnant numbers that I've shared with you and Roland and a panel before. We need action. We
Yes.
need relief. We need access to credit. We need loans. And when that gentleman was talking about loan servicing, white farmers was getting debt relief. That's what debt relief is. 1951, S as in Sam. That's the loan servicing for this country under the United States Department of Agriculture. White farmers were receiving debt relief with ease when black farmers was receiving loan foreclosure notices in the mail, 30 days to pay their balance full. So we were never offered the debt relief. White farmers got it and got it with ease. And if it was up to these federal courts, they'd get it twice, and we still haven't gotten it. And that's what the difference here is. One specific race, in this case, white men, receiving all of the loans, all of the servicing, all of the subsidies. And then you have black and other farmers of color who receive peanuts. And now that we have fix this, white farmers want to run to the courts for protection. They chose very conservative. It's getting a lot. It's very, very conservative judges that they chose, and very, very conservative courts. And they're a well-oiled machine. We need resources to fight this. There's a civil rights gentleman on your panel. He's a firecracker. It sounds like he needs to take a look at this too. But we have a summary judgment that we're trying to respond to in the coming weeks in the state of Florida. And we filed amicus briefs. The National Black Farmers Association and the Native American Farmers Association has filed amicus briefs in all 12 cases. So we're barely meeting these deadlines, but we need the support of black community. We need athletes to get involved. These rappers and entertainers, they have to get involved in the black farmers movement. The oldest occupation for black people in this country is farming, and we're facing extinction. So we need the involvement, and we need the support, and we need the help.
Absolutely. I would love to bring DeMario in to ask a question if he would like. To me, when I hear what you're saying, and I'm trying to think about the motivation of these white farmers bringing this lawsuit to try to block your debt relief, in my mind, I believe, and you can definitely feel free, Mr. Boyd, to answer as well, and then DeMario will definitely ask your question. But to me, it seems like they're trying. This is an attempt at a land grab. That's ultimately what I believe is going on.
When we were losing the land, through the county committee at USDA, it was white farmers who's dominated these county committees. These three-member panels in the country are made up of 99% white men. Those farms that were in federal inventory all went to white farmers, 99% who served on the county committee. So it was a legalized way by the United States Department of Agriculture to take away land from black farmers. After we got the land from Civil War, that 20 million acres of land we owned at the turn of the century, we're down to 4.5 million acres. We represented 1 million black farm families strong at the turn of the century. We're down to 50,000 black farmers in this country. We're facing extinction, and partly due to the United States Department of Agriculture. So they're going to have to help us fix this. And I believe that Secretary Vilsack was the wrong person to send back to USDA when he's had 2 terms to fix it. And he's back there again. He knows the problem, and we don't need a new equity commission. we need some new equity results.
Yes,
Yes, we need
absolutely.
results.
Absolutely. Demario, I would love to bring you in here. What are your thoughts about what black farmers can do right now? It's interesting that these white farmers are coming in, and I completely agree. It just seems like a delay tactic to say, oh, let's form a commission. No, let's act.
Panels, studies, that's all just delay tactics and ways to keep us from getting the justice that we deserve. As Brother Boyd stated, we don't need equity commissions. We need equity results. And I really appreciate him saying that. This really speaks to me because as an old country kid from Oklahoma whose family would own ranches back in the 1820s and 30s that we can trace back to, it really resonates to me to hear how our farmland and our land has been stripped and stolen away from us. When you talk about those numbers, going from 1 million farm families to down to 50,000, going from 20 million acres of land down to 4 or 5 million acres of land, it is disheartening. It is something that we definitely want to rally around you, Brother Boyd. I certainly want to connect with you and your organization, talk about the ways that maybe my organization, Justice for Greenwood, and some of the resources that I can bring with other firms that do pro bono work. We cannot allow this to continue to happen without a fight. We understand what we're up against. We understand that we have a tall hill to climb, but we must fight for our rights and our dignity at all times. And I will fight with you, brother. I will stand next to you. I will speak for you. I will fight and no surrender, no retreat. Give me a call. We'll get together and we'll try to fight this as best we can for those 50,000 farmers, black farmers who need relief.
Absolutely. Michael, do you have any questions for Mr. Boyd?
Hey, brother Boyd, thanks for coming back. Last time you were on, you were talking about Pepsi and
Absolutely.
and how Pepsi was going back on their verbal agreement to provide
Yes.
contracts to grow potatoes and things like that. So, I've been talking about this and the plight of black farmers, even going back to the Stein Seed Company and the lawsuit that black farmers had against the Stein Seed Company over soybeans. So, how do you all proceed with fighting this? We know white farmers have sued. We know this was part of the American Rescue Plan. We know no Republicans voted for the American Rescue Plan. We know Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina went on Face the Nation attacking this debt relief, okay, and as well as Lindsey Graham. So how do you fight this, and how can we help? What role can African Americans play, and also the Congressional Black Caucus also?
Well, we have to fight it in courts, like we're doing now. So we filed the amicus briefs in every one of the courts, and we're looking at different ways that we could maybe win. I'm a winner. I want to win.
Right.
I want to win, and we have so many challenges. Like you spoke about the issue with Pepsi, where they reneged on the potato contract. That's something that we need the support of the general public. And I touched on it earlier. We have many successful blacks in this country, athletes and entertainers. We saw them at the PepsiCo halftime show. Those
Right.
three, instead of dancing for Pepsi, they need to be dancing for black farmers and rapping for black farmers. They have to have songs about the land and buying land. People, we got to buy some land. If you want to fix this, buy some land, buy a building if you're in business, buy a lot in a subdivision, but you have to buy some land. We have a song out that I would like everybody on this panel to look and circulate. I did it with KJ Marley, Bob Marley's grandson, about the land. People, this is about the land. So it's about, of course, it's about access to credit to USDA, the banks, the top 10 banks. I didn't talk about them. They wrote to the president and Congress that us receiving the $5 billion would be harmful to them too. So we need to hold the bank. The agriculture companies, PepsiCo, John Deere, who won't service blacks, service us last after these tractors cut off and we can't start them back up until a technician comes out. There's a laundry list of companies that are dumping on black farmers. The government dumped on black farmers. White farmers dumped on black farmers, made us sharecroppers, and they stole all the land from the Indians, and they want to steal it all from the blacks. This is about land. And everybody on this panel, every step you take, every step you make requires land. You can either trespass on somebody else's or take a step on your own. Don't buy those new Cadillacs and Mercedes-Benz. Buy some land. Land is where it's at. Land is going to be the way that we're going to change this. For the young people that are looking at this, start investing in land ownership. If you only do buying houses, buy some land.
I hear you. Mustafa, do you have any questions?
Well, Brother Boyd, it's good to see you again. My grandfather was a small farmer. We still have that land that he purchased over 100 years ago now. I'm curious, have you utilized Title VI of the Civil Rights Act yet, which says that folks can't utilize federal funds to discriminate against folks of color, or based on national origin? So I'm curious if that's been a part of the work that's been going on so far.
Absolutely, yes, it is. And we've looked at all of the numbers, all of these statistics. Many of the information that I just spoke to you about is all spelled out in our amicus briefs that are filed in these 12 courts. One thing I didn't say is that these 12 complaints that were filed by white farmers were filed in conservative courts, conservative judgeships. They're well funded. This Sid Miller from Texas, the former agriculture secretary there, is leading the campaign, raising money, and filing these lawsuits around the country. We got to start doing the same thing. We got to become well organized. We got to become well funded so we can defend ourselves. And like I spoke about earlier, 39 years, I never sued a white farmer saying that they shouldn't get something. I filed those complaints in federal court so we can get two words: same as, period. Same as. We want the same servicing. We want the same contracts, not a word different than white farmers are getting. We want the same loan amounts if we qualify. We want the same amount of subsidies. People, same as. Don't look at me because I'm 6 foot tall and 240 pounds and darker skin and deep baritone voice. Judge me on my 39 years as a farmer, a skilled farmer, that I learned from my grandfather who slept with his deed underneath his mattress, and my daddy who taught me how to plow a mule and work all day and tie a Windsor knot in my shirt. These are things that we have teaching ourselves as black farmers. Go back and reinvent the land and get reconnected with land ownership in this country. That's how we're going to become and beat a whole lot of the barriers that affect us right now, by buying land.
Well, that is a powerful charge for us all. Buy land. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Mr. Boyd.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
Time to be smart.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
Oh, no punches!
Thank you, Roland Martin, for always giving voice to the issues.
Look for Roland Martin in the whirlwind, to quote Marcus Garvey again.
The video looks phenomenal, so I'm really excited to see it on my big screen.
Support this man, Black media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
I got to defer to the brilliance of Dr. Carr and to the brilliance of the Black Star Network.
I am Roland with Roland all the way. Honored to be on a show that you own. A black man owns the show.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now. Roland was amazing on there.
Stay black. I love y'all. I can't commend you enough about this platform that you've created for us to be able to share who we are, what we're doing in the world, and the impact that we're having.
Let's be smart. Bring your eyeballs home.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared. You dig?